From piles of bricks to the iconic characters we all know and love, LEGO minifigures have come a long way. But how did these tiny figures become such a big deal? Today we'll take a look into the fascinating history of LEGO minifigures, how they started, evolved, and became a cornerstone of every LEGO set. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The story starts in 1974 when LEGO introduced the first iteration of the LEGO minifigure. These minifigures were mainly made out of big blocks, and while they did have posable arms, their legs couldn't be posed at all. Then a year later, in 1975, LEGO updated minifigures to actually resemble something a lot closer to the minifigures we have today. However, these minifigures didn't have movable arms or legs, which actually made these minifigures look very odd. 3 years later, in 1978, minifigures were made into the minifigures we have today as far as the shape and posability. However, LEGO is still far from over with giving us more customization options, because in 1979, just a year later, we saw the first introduction of male hairpieces. But before they introduced male hairpieces, all male minifigures wore hats for some odd reason. In 1989, LEGO introduced their pirate minifigures, which brought along new faces as well as peg legs, and this was such a huge step for LEGO minifigures and paved the way for what they are today. In 1990, the first glow-in-the-dark element as well as specialized minifigure was introduced with the Ghost minifigure. This year was also the first year that LEGO started using these slopes to depict dresses for some female minifigures. 3 years later, LEGO also introduced the first iteration of beard pieces, which added a whole new dimension to the customization of minifigures. Then, in 1999, we saw the very first licensed minifigures with Star Wars being introduced. This was a pivotal moment for LEGO, as Star Wars ended up being one of their most successful themes to date. A few years later, LEGO finally introduced double-sided heads so we could have different facial expressions to choose from. This created a whole unique experience and expanded on the playability of minifigures. In 2002, when Yoda was made as a minifigure in Star Wars, he was the first minifigure to introduce short legs, which LEGO had never done prior. And since then, these short legs have been used for multiple types of minifigures, mainly to depict young children. In 2004, LEGO introduced flesh tones, and from then on till now, licensed minifigures' heads weren't yellow anymore, and instead we have way more realistic and accurate heads for licensed themes. In 2010, the collectible minifigure series, or CMF line, was introduced, and it helped bring multiple minifigure accessories to customize minifigures. The CMF series became so popular that it's still around today and has even brought a few licensed series of CMFs. Since then, there haven't been any major changes to LEGO minifigures, and since fans of LEGO love the way minifigures are so much, there hasn't been a need to update them. So that marks the end of LEGO minifigure history, at least for now. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe and watch one of the videos on your screen.